What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Today's video is a treat. Kitco News is going to be interviewing Jim McDonald, the CEO of Kootenay Silver. They're heavily into the mining sector as well, and he's going to talk about why he thinks silver is bullish and what would push the price higher. Very good interview. We're going to show the actual video here today. But guess what else? People probably think in the silver markets, everything's been kind of quiet lately, but I beg to differ. You want to know why? Because I dug up some good stuff. Check out all this information that I have uncovered. Will silver be the comeback kid of 2021? We have a huge article. It's coming from the commodity report, and we might watch this video later on as well. But then we have we have news from the Silver Institute. I call them the holy grail of information, talking about how silver could replace expensive rare earth metals in touchscreens and other consumer electronics. Ohio is the latest state to remove sales tax on silver bullion. And then we have the silver warning to the S&P. We have the latest growth forecast for silver as the solar and EVs continue to boom. And then we have this interview with Jim McDonald. So if you think that not much is happening, or if there isn't much news out there on this channel, you're going to get the newest, latest, freshest, most up-to-date recent information in the world of precious metals. I got y'all. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you want a chance to win some silver on Saturday, I'm picking two winners. So two lucky stackers watching this video are going to win some silver, but you have to enter. So go in the description, click the link. That's the entry video. Make the luckiest stacker win. With that said, let's watch this video.
Speaking with Jim McDonald. He is the CEO of Kootenay Silver, and we'll be talking about the silver market and future projects and developments of Kootenay Silver. Welcome back to the show, Jim.
Yeah, great to be back, David. It's a pleasure to be here again.
You've got some announcements to make, exciting new drill results that we can talk about. But first, let's talk about silver. Not a lot has been happening this summer. It's been pretty quiet, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet. You can see that on our silver chart, of course, the price of our stock and many, many other silver explorers and producers. It's all very similar, coming off that real exciting breakout last year from $18 to $30. And we're expecting another breakout to come here in the silver price pretty soon. But some very interesting action on the gold market there a few weeks ago, when overnight in the Asian markets, it was spiked down to 1690 very briefly. That was a real technical hold spot for it. And the whole macro scenario, of course, is very strong for the precious metals here going forward. So we're expecting a big breakout here. Hopefully it's in the near term. The timing is always something that we can't predict, but we're quite confident on the trend.
All right, well, big breakout. Let's talk about that. Do you have a catalyst in mind? What can spike the price up?
A lot of things could spike it up. A new variant, an announcement on some massive infrastructure bill, perhaps, that will do it. Who knows? There's always some catalyst that happens, and I don't really think it's any given catalyst that makes it happen. It's some event against a bigger macro trend that's in place, and that's what we see now. So there will be some catalyst. Who knows what it'll be?
Well, you brought up the infrastructure bill. That's a good point. We've had the infrastructure bill passed in the Senate a couple of weeks ago. Were you surprised that the silver price didn't really move much on that news, given how much silver presumably would be needed to fulfill some of these infrastructure demands?
Well, no, not surprising. And we're looking at that big trend, and those it's not the type of announcement that really spikes that precious metal type price typically. So yeah, I wasn't really surprised by that. We're focused on that macro, and if it's not something like that, then it'll be some other thing that seems to correlate with and drive the price, and perhaps it actually does, and perhaps it's coincidental, but it's...
And then the S word starts to unfold. He kept hinting towards this S word that I hate so much, that you probably all know that I hate, and you're saying it in your head right now. Silver Slayer, just say it. Speculation, right? He's talking about speculation. The fundamentals won't push silver to where or in today's time right now, the news, the information, the facts of how much more silver we'll need, that's not going to really affect the price. But what will is if some big news comes out about something that scares people, puts fear in their hearts, or gets them extremely excited. Speculation. And he even said at the very end, it might not even be something that has to actually affect or will actually affect the silver markets. But if people perceive it a certain way, then that's what's going to play out. Speculation. But I do like that he is mentioning that we will see higher prices and there will be another breakout. We just don't know what big event it will be, right? And I'm going to play a little bit more of this interview. I'm just going to highlight the main things. I don't want to just bore you guys with a long interview. I know this is very important stuff, but I know people don't have a very long attention span when it comes to just sitting here. I mean, you clicked on the video to hear my perspective. So let's just look at a little bit more of these highlighted main points that Jim McDonald has to offer.
When you talk about macro, are you referring to investment demand or industrial demand, or maybe both?
Well, silver is pretty interesting. I'm referring to the investment demand here that's been set up because of the massive amount of currency injections that have been done around the world over the last year and a half approximately. Yeah, it's never happened on this scale before, and that creates debasement of purchasing power of those currencies all around the world. And that creates a very strong environment for demand of bullion silver and bullion gold.
Okay, let's talk about the relationship between gold and silver. Over the long term, if we take a look at a long-term chart of gold and silver, you'll notice that while it is true that during bull cycles, silver outperforms gold, and of course vice versa, during bear cycles, silver underperforms. However, over the last 40 years, it's occurred to me that while gold has breached new all-time highs last year, silver has not yet breached its 2011 highs, let alone its 1981 highs. So why is it that silver over the last 40 years has continuously found new highs while silver has, if you look at the chart, not yet found its new highs? It's traded within that range.
Yeah, well, that's because this cycle isn't over. In our view, we think silver is going to break out over that $30 mark pretty strongly and make a run on that $50 number and probably surpass it this time just because of the backdrop it's against. So a lot of people look at the silver gold ratio, and it was about a year ago at an all-time high, almost around 122, and then the last bull market precious metal cycle, it went down to as low as about 30. And the cycle before, I think it was as low as about 15, 16, something like that. So you get these really strong swings, and that's yet to come, we believe. We strongly believe that.
He was asked, why when gold breaks past these all-time highs, past $2,000, why didn't silver also do the same? Why didn't silver break past its 1981 or 2011 highs of $50? And you know what Jim said? The cycle isn't over yet. The cycle isn't over. Everyone thinks that, gold broke past 2000 and silver didn't follow suit like it should have. What's happening? Is it changing? No, silver's cycle isn't over. Gold is like a volcano. It already erupted, already exploded. Silver's volcano hasn't erupted yet. It's still bubbling. It's still filling up with magma because it's lava after it comes out of the volcano, right? It's magma while it's still inside. It's still, in the longer it is bubbling up, the bigger the explosion. And silver's more volatile. So if gold breaks up 15%, silver's going to do 20%. So the cycle isn't over. He also mentions how bullish he is on silver. He says he strongly believes this, him and his team. So I do think that people are headed on board. I do think that as silver becomes more mainstream, as people start to realize what And like he says, these massive amounts of money implants they're putting in not only the United States, every country across the world is just having to put trillions of dollars into stimulus packages. And for the last year and a half, as he says, it's only going to weaken the dollar, which is bullish for gold and silver bullion. And remember, he said bullion, the physical metal. The physical metal. I just made a video yesterday talking about how spot price is detached from the physical ounce price. No matter if spot price is $30, we're not going to be able to pay $30 for an ounce of physical silver. We're going to have to pay $40, $42, maybe even $45. And if you don't believe me, look at silver spot price right now sitting at $23 and something cents and try to buy a generic round for less than 30. You can't. But anyway, that's besides the point. If you want to check out that video, I did make that yesterday. So, when we're looking at this, we do have to think about, the bigger picture. See, he's talking about the macro. He's talking about the macro from the bigger picture. What events are going to happen? What is going to come out in play? Let's look at here. Let's look at this article right here, because this goes exactly, with what he was just saying. So while gold market has swiftly recovered from its recent flash crash, which sent prices briefly below 1,700 an ounce, silver has continued to consolidate near key support levels. However, I wouldn't rule silver out just yet. Kind of like Jim was just saying, silver has a habit of lagging behind the rest of the commodities complex for extended periods of time. But once it gets going, it really gets going. What I was just saying and what Jim was just saying, don't rule silver out yet. It lags behind. But then, as gold broke past 2,000, but once silver gets going, it really gets going, just like that volcano analogy I just said, right? It's bubbling up, but the longer it takes, the more magma fills with and explodes even higher. Silver has a well-documented track record of staging spectacular comebacks when you least expect it. With prices currently in significantly oversold territory, ultimately suggests silver fortunes could be about to turn. If you want to know where silver prices are headed next, then just take a look at the bullish trend in oil prices. And I made a video about this a couple months ago. Oil prices are very, very close to silver. In that video, it was actually shocking. I didn't even know how close the correlation was between oil prices and silver prices until I dug up some research in that video. But anyways, he even goes on to say, higher oil prices usually feed into inflation expectations and boost demand for assets with inflation hedging capabilities, such as precious metals. Historical trends from the past 2 decades shows a correlation between higher oil and metal prices. In fact, there are 10 historical instances since 2001 when oil has ripped higher by more than 50% in 6 months, and as a result, precious metals have often followed the large rally in oil with a closely matched increase. So yeah, we can pay attention to a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, we know one thing, and that silver is always going to come out on top. Silver stackers always get the last laugh, and you could beat silver down with the wooden stick right now because prices are low, or you can switch your perspective from glass half empty to glass half full and take advantage of it, adjust and adapt, and that's what real investors do. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I have some other stuff to work on, so make sure you're tuned in. I might post another video tonight depending upon how long it takes for me to get this video out. If not, there will be a video tomorrow morning. Regardless, there's going to be a video tomorrow morning. I'm going to probably go back to my daily upload schedule, which is usually 10 a.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Somewhere around those times. Try to go 3 videos a day. If not, it will be 2 at least. So yeah, stay tuned. If you want to enter and have a chance to win some silver on Saturday, which is tomorrow, then you better subscribe. Go in the description. That's the entry video. May the luckiest stacker win. The link to these 2 articles will be in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video from the Jim McDonald interview. If you want to watch it or follow through longer into it, you can. I just didn't want to make this video too timely, right? So yeah, you can always watch it. I highly recommend it because he does go into some other stuff as well. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.